Yeah, 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 yeah. Tuesday. Yeah. Sippers and guzzlers, baby. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling tonight? Tuesday night is the Daily Go-Getter Mism Show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it whiz? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about the sippers and the guzzlers tonight. Sippers and guzzlers tonight. Sippers and guzzlers tonight. Yeah. I hope y'all in the mood tonight. Feeling abstract tonight. Yeah. Yo. I hope y'all had a good day today. Sippers and guzzlers. Sippers and sippers. What's going on, y'all? Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this your daily. It's the Daily Go-Getter Mism Show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about the sippers and the guzzlers tonight. I said, sippers and guzzlers tonight. Sippers and guzzlers tonight. Do you consider yourself a sipper? Or do you drink it all down like a guzzler? Where y'all at with it, man? You good? You good? Who is here? Who is here? I Heart Oakland. What's good? What's good? Squidward. Squidward. What's good? And Jihad. My man Jihad is in the house. And T Carry right morning, noon, and it's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling, man? We talk about the sippers and the guzzlers tonight. The sippers and the guzzlers tonight. We're going to have a cerebral conversation tonight. This is going to get a little cerebral. It's going to get a little psychological, but we ain't trying to get inside your head. But maybe this can help us to discover a little bit more about ourselves and maybe even understand some things that are going on with our peoples. Hold on for a second, though. It's a little bit warm in here. It's a little bit warm. You know, it was a nice day today, so I'm going to get the fan popping over here. It's not warm enough to throw the air on. It's not warm enough for that. But it's definitely warm enough, you know, to warrant putting some blades on you. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get it popping, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's have this little conversation tonight. Tuesday night, Pretty Petty Tuesday. Pretty Petty Tuesday. Y'all might not know nothing about that. Pretty Petty Tuesday. That's when we get a little raunchy. That's when we get a little wild. We get loose. We get loose. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the likes. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Do me that one little solid and we be all right. Do me that one little solid. We gonna be all right. Yeah, the sippers and the guzzlers. Not the sippers versus the guzzlers. Not the guzzlers versus the sippers. It's the sippers and the guzzlers. What do you consider yourself to be? Are you the type that drinks slow? You know what I mean? Are you the type that will even grab yourself a little straw? Every drink, regardless of whether it's something soft like a Shirley Temple or something hard like a shot of Jack. Shot of Jack. Are you the type that sips? It's a funny thing about sippers. Sippers will nurse a drink or drinks all night long, but they will drink all night long. All night long. Now, this is not necessarily a thing about alcohol, because you can be a non-alcoholic drinker, but you still drink and you still sip. You are a sipper. No, most people that drink with a straw are sippers. And it's a funny thing because sippers often piss guzzlers off. Guzzlers are trying to get straight to it. Guzzlers are trying to get straight to it a lot of times. And sometimes sippers and guzzlers, they don't mesh. You know what I mean? They can't get the parts together. They trying to put the old, iPhones use USB-C now. The current iPhones are made with USB-C. You know, iPhones always had their own plug, their own, what would you call it? Adapter or whatever. So trying to plug a iPhone into, or try to use a Android plug for iPhone, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. DSP was good. It says caca. Oh, hola, soy negro. Okay. Jihad says, I babysit my drinks. Okay. All right. Good to see y'all, man. Oakland says, are you a guzzler? I think I'm definitely closer to a guzzler than a sipper. I can't sip. You know what I mean? Like, I can't sip. Hey, I know people. I don't know what y'all know. DSP, you're a dickhead. Okay, I get it. You're a dickhead. That's okay. We welcome assholes, dickheads, and all of that to the show. As long as you all right, I'm all right. You said, how bald? You is an ass. You're an ass. Let me see if you've been here before. Let me see if this dickhead has been here before. Hold on. Man. See what this, see what this dickhead, see what the dickhead. Oh yeah, he's been here before. He was here yesterday. All right, cool. Long as I know. All right, so you're not new. You're just dumb. I ain't got no problem with that. You're not new. You're just dumb. All right. So, yeah, guzzlers are normally a little bit impatient. You know, they want to, like, if they drink alcohol, they want to get to their buzz with the quickness. They want to get to their drunkenness with the quickness. They going to turn the party up quick. Turn the party up quick. Oh, he said, at least I'm not the niggest. What is... What you want? You want me to put you out? Oh, damn. I was going to let him live. He got shot. Bow! Bow! About to turn it out. My girl, Annette Long, just showed up. Annette Long, the family meeting is in the house. Annette Long, the family meeting is in the house, man. We used to do shows back all the way back into 2013. She got a good channel. Dense Roomy. What up, man? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you mucho. Yeah, me and Annette go way back. Back so far, back to the early 80s. I didn't know her in the early 80s, but I met her back in the early 80s. Way back. And I was just a boy. But yeah, sippers and guzzlers. You know, when you really start thinking about it, think about the people in your life or yourself if you fit the bill. Look at the way sippers are. Sippers might be kind of OCD. You know what I mean? They might be the type that line their bottles up if they drink alcohol or if they drink regular juice. You know what I mean? They're a little bit more meticulous. They seem to be a little bit more self-aware, even more aware of their surroundings. Guzzlers, they normally are concentrating on themselves. You know what I mean? We'll get with everybody else after we take care of ourselves. So you could say that guzzlers sometimes act like, or they may have grown up in a family where there wasn't enough for everybody all of the time. And I'm not saying that to say that you grew up poor or anything like that. But if you grew up in a house with a lot of siblings, let's say if you grew up in a big family, you know, 6 or 7 brothers or more, brothers and sisters or whatever, or more, well, you know, things like cereal, things like waffles, things like Pop-Tarts, things like juice, milk, you know, eggs, whatever you ate, you probably it was probably like a first come, first served basis, you know? So, you know, if there was a situation where certain foods or certain things might not be available to you if you wait too long or if you nurse something too long, then you might be the type to go ahead and it's a mentality because you may not be drinking it or eating it because you're really hungry, but you know that later on you may be hungry and you may have missed out. You may have missed out on the good helpings and may have to just settle for the scraps. Like, nah, ain't no more ham left. Nah, ain't no more turkey. Ain't no more sausage left, but you can rock out with this toast. That's it? Toast? Yeah, because you was lunching. While you was up in the bathroom taking that long ass shower, everybody was down here eating. So you get what's left. That's not going to happen but so many times before you say, okay, I better get to it first. And that may have turned you into a guzzler or a faster eater. Is it guaranteed? Is it an exact science? No. N-O. No, not at all. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Dimples D's is in the house. What's good? Dimples D's and Adam Guerrera. It's not really Guerrera, it's Guerra. It's Adam Guerra. Where are you, Brown? I don't know. Strange question. Ashley, what up, Ashley? Thanks for coming through. It's Cheryl Halsey. What up, Cheryl Halsey? Thanks for coming through, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Mucho. Appreciate y'all. And it says, I wanted to get my buzz on quick to light beers order to start. So I get it. Now, if you want to get your buzz on, like sipping will still get you your buzz. But people who sip seem to know that, look, there's enough to go around. Like maybe if you're a sipper, you got a pocket full of money. Like, I ain't got to rush. I got enough for whatever I need. I got enough for what if somebody else needs some too. But like my stepdad, my late great stepdad, and my dad, they were both sippers. They were not guzzlers. I don't know where I got my guzzling from. I am more of a guzzler. Yeah, ain't no doubt about it. And I don't know where I got it from because, like I said, my the most influential men in my life were not guzzlers. And I'm not sure if my mom is a guzzler either. She drinks, and I don't mean alcohol, but yeah, she ain't no nah. She not a trucker, so I don't know. We ain't never run out of nothing at the crib. You know what I'm saying? We ain't grow up rich, but we wasn't fighting for. I ain't have to eat no roaches, no shit like that. I didn't have to eat no alternative cereal. I had the real Frosted Flakes, the real Fruit Loops, Cookie Crisp, Apple Jacks, the real shit. You know what I mean? Post, Kellogg's, General Mills. I had the real shit. Not that we weren't eligible to get the fake shit. You know what I mean? Because my mom used to buy in bulk. I don't know if y'all know it. Like my mom was into the BJ's and Sam's Club when they didn't have that. She used to go to the warehouse, the wholesale warehouse places and get our food. So she always bought a whole lot. My mom used to buy food like the apocalypse was coming. And she still kind of does. It's kind of weird. But that's where I come from. So I never had to devour or guzzle. Just did it anyway. And it says, define sipper, nurse a drink. You could call it nursing a drink, or you could call it just taking your time. Like a sipper probably doesn't want to play games like taking shots, doing shots. Now, even when I used to drink, I didn't really like doing shots. And I'll tell you why I didn't like doing shots. By the time they started coming through with the shots, I was drunk already. So that was going to put the icing on the cake. Now it's blackout time. I did what? With who? How many times? Oh, God. Is it broke? Yes. Did they see me? No. Did you tell? You telling the truth? Are you telling the truth? All right. So yeah, and you know what? My stepdad, he was a drinker, but he didn't like shots either. He was like, no, man, don't let nobody rush you to drink. You drink at your own pace. Because he always believed that if somebody is rushing you to drink, they're probably doing it for a purpose that's not good for you. So if you're a female, it could be a man trying to get you drunk so he can get, you know what I mean? He can get you horny, real horny. And that long says, do you still have Crystal? Yes. Matter of fact, she around. If I hear a big ass coming from up the steps, she a thick cat. She thick. As he says, big boy eating eating all the food. Big boy eating all the food. Well, I was never big when I was little. I was a skinny kid, that's for sure. If you was talking about me, yeah. But yeah, let's take a look at the poll real quick. Since we up to 15 votes, okay. Let's have a look at the poll. Where are we? Right here. Oh, good. Oh, wow. This is interesting. Do you think that the way people? I'm sorry. Do you think that the way a person eats or drinks can tell the way they live their lives? I should have wrote that better. I should have said, do you think that the way a person eats or drinks, says a lot about them? Make it simple. Sometimes I overthink shit and whatever. And 50%. Oh, it's 16 votes now. 50% says yes, it says a lot about them. 25% says no, that's ridiculous. 25% says maybe so, maybe not. And 0% says when they're greedy with food. Now, it wouldn't allow me to use any more characters, but what I was trying to say is when they're greedy with food, then they're greedy with other things too. Like if somebody is, devouring food and real greedy or maybe even stingy with food, then more than likely they're greedy in other areas of their life, like maybe even business, money. They might be a little miserly or are obsessed with material things. Could be. One thing about being an overeater is you gotta have money. One thing about being an overeater is you gotta have money. And I've never known a seriously greedy person who didn't keep money all the time. They may not have given away their money all the time, but they had money. They worked, they hustled, they did whatever because they was eating up the profits a lot. Eat. Eat. Oakland says, why didn't you like the Squidward motherfucker? What you mean like him? I ain't make him go away. he can hang out. Not everybody can get into this. I wish it was, but this ain't for everybody. This is sort of like a La Cosa Nostra. Like if you catch on to this and you with it, normally you gonna be here. And other than that, you gonna be like, no me gusta. All right, anyway, sippers and guzzlers. Let me find out who's who. All right, so Annette, and I'm glad you waited up, Annette. I know that this 2:00 thing this thing be separating the men from the boys. It ain't easy. It ain't easy, but this is when we do our thing. All right, everybody, if you would be so kind as to identify yourself as either a sipper or a guzzler. Let's see what the general consensus is here. What do you consider yourself to be? Do you consider yourself to be a sipper or a guzzler? A sipper or a guzzler? I'm going to classify myself as a guzzler, but I'm going to say that I'm a moderate guzzler. One time when I was in college, there was this chick. She didn't drink all the time, but evidently in her heyday, it's funny how when you only 21, 22 years old, we be talking about back in the day all the time. And back in the day puts us right there in the time when we was teenagers. And when we was teenagers, we was talking about back in the day. Back in what day? Well, you don't think about that till you older. Anyway, evidently, there was a time she used to be able to turn up. Because I remember one time, we used to drink 40 ounces all the time. When I was in college, we talking about from 88 to 93. Well, really, I started in spring 89 to summer 93. So we used to drink 40s, all of the malt liquor. Any of them that we could get, because up in Penn State, there was some malt liquors you couldn't get up there. Like, they had like Red Bull, they had Blue Bull, they had Coke 45. To get the premium malt liquors, the new shit that was coming out, like, St. Ives and Power Master and what was that shit they had? Crazy Horse, Private Stock, shit like that. They didn't have that. They didn't have that up there. So I had to come home to get that shit. So anyway, this chick, what was her name? She was a big chick. Definitely had a lot of stud energy, but she was straight. But then again, you never know, you know what I mean? She was straight there, But I remember she took the 40 and she drunk that shit all the way down without stopping. And she wasn't even one of us that drank all the time. Like we drank every weekend. We was turning up and all of that. She wasn't doing that. But evidently there was a time when she did, because none of us could do that. She took the 40 and she drunk it down. It was a 40 of malt liquor. I can't remember which one it was, but she took that shit and she never took it from her lips. What they used to say, 40 to the head. Bow, 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 bow. 40 caliber. And I was like, but goddamn, how'd she do that? She did that shit. Now I used to drink this shit. I couldn't drink it like that because once the suds hit my stomach, I had to throw up. And once I threw up the suds, then I could keep drinking. But I used to show off with the 40 bottle, open up my mouth like on the side. I could swallow. And I was just showing off. Motherfuckers used to be looking at me and shit like that. So I'm definitely a guzzler. Definitely a guzzler. But I wasn't a guzzler like that. Cause after she finished, I was like, you gonna be drunk as shit. You really literally just took a 40 to the head. Like it wasn't nothing. Like it wasn't nothing. She never stopped. I'm watching this spectacle. I ain't gonna front. I was impressed and turned off at the same goddamn time. I said I was impressed and turned off at the same goddamn time. Maritza Allberg, what's going on, man? Good to see me some you. And Spartacus, what's good? He says, back in my early 20s, man, you know that was the yo, man, he's turning up crazy. And he says, I did a 40 ounce through a beer bong. Oh, you did through a beer bong. It was an interesting experience. I went from sober to fucked up in like 1 minute. Yup, that'll do it. And the crazy part about it is you can't turn that off. You know what I mean? That's the worst part about when you're not used to being drunk. You can't turn that shit off. So you getting worse and worse and worse. You about to hug that porcelain receptacle in the bathroom. You about to be hugging that motherfucker. Not remembering a goddamn thing. I said, what do you remember? Not a goddamn thing. But everybody else remember. And they be teasing you. And they be teasing you. And making you look bad. Yeah. Yeah. But it's all your fault. It's all your fault. Oakland says, I mean, she could be like 270 and not fail a breathalyzer. Nah, she wasn't no big chick. She definitely had stud energy. Ain't no doubt about that. She was definitely not one of those chicks that you wanted to tussle with. She was rough. But at the same time, she had a feminine, submissive side. I saw it. When she had this dude and she stood down and let him take the lead. And he wasn't even no leader type. I was like, talk about the odd couple. Hey, I wish y'all all the best. He had himself a 40 drinker. Seika Sala says, what I learned is that most drinkers were trying to escape reality or drink to calm their social anxiety around people. The sad part is some people continue to be hooked throughout life. Yeah. Yep, all true. And that's whether you drink or whether you get high off of some other substance. The real problem is that you have a problem dealing with your sobriety. Your sobriety is unfulfilling. And unfortunately, that's the reason why alcohol or substance abuse will always exist. Because in people's sobriety, it ain't good enough. It ain't good enough. We have not been conditioned well enough to be able to deal with the adversity that life will undoubtedly deal to each and every one of us. But still we rise. Still we rise. Hit the like button, y'all. Share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. I said, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Get 'Em Show. I'm your host, son 752, aka Omar with the I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. We are talking about sippers and guzzlers. Now, not necessarily alcohol, but if you talk about sipping and guzzling and you start talking about alcohol, then everybody's going to think that you're strictly talking about that. I'm just talking about even the way that you drink juice, milk, water, whatever. There's some people who guzzle and there's some people who take their time and sip. And there are times when sippers and guzzlers don't mesh well. They don't blend in with each other very well. Sometimes they lack respect for each other. And that's something that we have to deal with because it's something that they have to deal with. Sippers may look at guzzlers like they're uncouth, unrefined, untrained. They don't think about things before they do them. They rush all the time. And it's a legitimate argument or a legitimate claim that when people rush or they're always so quick to do things or if they're impulsive, there's a good chance that they're going to make mistakes. And some of those mistakes can be catastrophic. Some of those mistakes can be really, really big time, life-changing or life-altering mistakes. At the same time, guzzlers may be looking at sippers like they're slow or like they're weak or like they're scared or like they're hesitant. See if we can make some connections. Do you think, let's say, if we tried to connect sipping with driving, would you think, or do you think, or do you have evidence to show that sippers may be more defensive drivers? Maybe they approach the traffic lights. Like maybe they're the type that will never go through a yellow light. And that might piss off a guzzling fast driver or whatever, or aggressive driver. Is there a connection? Possibly. Yes. No. Oakland says sipping is easier when you drive. Unfortunately, I had 3 DUIs, so I know a little bit too much about drinking and driving. But I'm saying, look at the connection. Not saying that you drink and drive, like not saying that you drive under the influence. Just how you drink your beverages, whatever beverages that you drink. Do you think that it's more likely that somebody who is a sipper may be more of a defensive driver maybe the type that people honk at. Like, yo, come on. Yo, you can make a right, you can make a turn on red. Why are you, boom, boom. Go! Is that a guzzler? Is that a guzzler behind the sipper, encouraging the sipper to go through the yellow light, turn on red? Do you think so? Maybe so, maybe not. What do you think? I'm under the impression that there may be a connection there. Is it definite? No, not necessarily. I'm sure there are plenty of sippers that may really have the lead foot when they get out on the open road. Maybe. Oakley says, I would hate to be driving in front of you, son. Nah, I don't be, I don't do road rage. I don't do road rage, but I will go around your ass in a minute. What's not going to happen is you're not going to stop me. You're not going to stop me. If you are in front of me and, let's say, you're making a left turn and there's oncoming traffic and you the type that's scared, I will go around your ass. You will not make me. I don't know. It happened today. One of the most frustrating things is for you to get stranded at a light that was green and it was your turn. But you had one person in front of you that waited, that gave everybody the right of way. And then they either missed the light. So you're going to have to go through a whole nother light. And you may be on the side of the traffic that has the long light. At certain intersections, you may be at an intersection where one street has the dominant flow of traffic, so their light is longer. You have the shorter light. So you gotta, when you see that their light is about to turn red, you gotta already be out there in the intersection to make your turn. Meanwhile, you behind the crosswalk. Like, what are you doing? We're never gonna make this turn. I know I am, because I'm going around your dumbass. But that's probably my guzzle mentality. A guzzle mentality. I always have to read y'all comments on my monitor because it's hard to see the words when I'm looking at my image at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, and then I always wonder, like, why do they make you look at yourself? Like, what? You should have the option to black your camera out. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Oakley says, I would not let some old man pass me. Shit. Either you can drive or you can't. Annette says, Guzzler is slow, crazy driver. Guzzler is slow, crazy driver. Sekasala says, old school dude taught me to go to 7-Eleven and get a big gulp with ice and pour some Henny with Diet Coke. I didn't buy a drink at the club after that. And I was nice all night and sweated out. Shit, we used to take the flask in the club. Yeah, we took the flask. Yeah. If they had the metal detector, you couldn't get in the metal flask, take the plastic joint. This shit is akin to a canteen. Take the canteen in the club, dog. And yo, I was wild when I used to drink. I would steal bottles at the bar. If the bartender, I'm thinking to myself, I could have got my ass bounced out, kicked out, blackballed. You know how many bottles of liquor I reached over and took because the bartender was sleeping? He taking too long to get my drink. You all the way over there? I reached right over. Had my sports jacket on. You know what I mean? I'm at Club Gotham with a whole bottle of vodka. I just took whatever was closest. Took that shit, threw it in the joint. I'm like, yo, look, dog, I got the bottle. I was a show off. I was like, yo, I got the, they're like, yo, oh, where you get the bottle? I got bottle service, nigga. What you talking about? I got bottle service. You want some? Get a cup. Get a cup. I did that shit so many times. Never got caught. I did that shit a lot. I'm thinking, like, the chances that I took, I had 3 DUIs. You know how many I should have had? So I don't even want to think about that shit. This shit is ridiculous. Son. But that's that guzzler. That's that guzzler mentality. Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. I was on 125 and St. Nick. All right. Anyway. Guzzlers versus sippers. So let's ask a series of questions here. Let's see if we can identify themselves. Now, the only person that seemed to have identified themselves was Annette. Yeah, Annette, I took the whole bottle. Proud as a peacock. And you know how they got the little, what's that little silver thing, so they can pour straight? Because it wasn't the raw bottle. This shit it was already ready to pour. So I'm like, yeah, it got the little topper thing. I don't know what you call it. All right. Oh, you said I just need some glasses? No, I wear glasses. I do. I wear glasses. I got glasses right here. I don't like to wear glasses, but I got glasses. Actually, these are working tonight. Let me see. Shit. I got 5 pairs of glasses. You know what I mean? Paid all this money for the motherfuckers. I need to wear them, but I don't like to be dependent upon glasses. Damn, this shit really is clear though. God damn. Look at that shit. I mean, I can see. Progressive lenses and shit. All right, let's go. All right, Annette says, my friend had 3 DUI and did 3 years. I ain't have to do no time. I had to do a weekend, but I ain't. But, well, because I wasn't so far over the legal limit that they, I had 1 out of state. I had a DUI in Delaware and 2 in Pennsylvania. And so they tried the 2 in Pennsylvania like a first offense, and they put they put both of them together. My lawyer was a good lawyer. And I got convicted. The first DUI I got was in 2006. Then I fucked around, and that was in Delaware. Then I actually committed the offense in 2005. And then I went to court in 2006, got convicted. They sentenced me to, I had to do the DUI classes and all of that, but they transferred it to Philly, and I never went to the classes. So I just blew it off. They never wrote me. They never harassed me. I ain't had no probation, no PO, and no shit like that. I ain't have to do no time. And I ain't have no lawyer either. So, I just got over. And then that's why it's not good for some people to get away with shit, because I didn't learn my lesson. Turned around the next year and a half and got the DUI in Philly. And I didn't get convicted of that DUI until 2010. So that was like in I believe in like December of 2007, and I got convicted in June of 2010. So we kept getting continuances, trying to get a court date where the cops wouldn't show up, and hopefully we could get it thrown out. That did not work. Oh, Spartacus, you a guzzler? Okay, got you. All right. Spartacus says, when I party, I get down. I hear that. Marissa says, come on, son. Come on, 752, you Leo man. Shit. Yeah. Cheryl Halsey says she is a sipper. Somehow I got the energy that you were probably a sipper. Oakland says, you look like Nolan Smith Jr. in his roster photo. Oh, really? Okay. Damn. It's a felony now. You talking about your man with three DUIs? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. That's my saving grace, was that I wasn't far over the legal limit. I had a good lawyer. I ain't fuck up no property or nothing like that. I didn't have no accidents or anything like that. Oh, DUI is a felony now. That's some bullshit. That really is. And you know what? I'm not saying it just because. The reason that I say that is bullshit is because they blame a lot of the vehicular deaths on drunk drivers. And of course, it is tragic when you hear that somebody's life was taken or ruined because of a drunk driver or somebody driving under the influence. But when you look at the number of vehicular deaths because of accidents each year, the ones non-alcohol or non-DUI related are like this. No bullshit, they like this. And the ones that are DUI related are like this. And I'm not bullshitting. So for them to prosecute drunk driving so severely, but nothing happens to you if you kill somebody in the commission of driving and it was an accident, as long as there was no alcohol involved. Nothing happens to you. And they don't put it out there like that. So literally, there may be 30,000 vehicular deaths every year, non-alcohol related, and alcohol related or DUI related vehicular deaths would be like 3,000. Literally. So you know it's a money game. And that's the one thing about getting a DUI. When I used to see those billboards that used to say DUI, you can't afford it, I didn't know what they meant. They not bullshitting, because you pay. You got to pay restitution. You got to pay a lawyer. You got to pay for your probation. You got to pay fines and legal fees and court costs and all of that. And you just keep paying and paying. This shit is crazy. You got to pay to get your license back. You got to pay to submit your license. You're going to pay. You're going to pay. And it's just like throwing away money. And yeah, this shit is fucking crazy. But yeah, I mean, the state makes a lot of money. Remember, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, MAD, whatever, you know, I mean, it's sad either way. But when you look at everything in politics, I always tell y'all this, everything in politics is about money. It's about money. You out, Annette, but thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. Mucho, mom, mucho. You go ahead and get some rest, and thanks for coming through. Please don't let it be a long time before you do. We're always here at 2. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to worry. Ah, man, you said, I don't know why billboards are a thing and they distract you from driving. But that's why they used to have billboards right on the road. Now they have to have them like off to the side. So, you're not directly being distracted from the road. They have to make them bigger and able to see from far away. So you're not as distracted. Back in the day, those billboards were right there on the road. On the road. Sikasala says, I remember getting tipsy at a reggae night and I was dancing with a sister and I got too touchy feely and she smacked me and I remember thinking I gotta chill drinking because it goes to my head. I mean, you will take chances when you are. They don't call it liquid courage for nothing. They don't call it liquid courage for nothing. But the worst thing that can happen when you are under the influence of alcohol is that you wind up in bed with something that you never would have gone to bed with when you're sober. And trust me, when you're drunk, it makes nothing but sense. Oh yeah, shorty, all right. Shorty, all right. Yeah, I'm getting this. She gonna be wet, my dick gonna be wet. She gonna be wet, my dick gonna be wet. She's the kind of one that I'm definitely gonna get. She got a friend, and you can get in. Yo, you gonna do this shit. Yo, count to 10. I'ma make sure that you down just like a submarine. Everything is gonna be all right. To me, she looks clean. Yo, you ain't gonna get burnt. The lesson you learned, it's your time, and the time is about to be turned. Yeah, so get it in, my friend. Yo, you can thank me later. Never become a hater. Yeah. That's the bad thing about alcohol. Beer goggles. You saw her through beer goggles. You went to bed with a 10 and woke up with a 3. You went to bed with a 10 and woke up with a 3. Maybe a 2. There's nothing worse than being embarrassed all by yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? You ever been embarrassed and ain't even nobody else around? Like you woke up and she was asleep. And you like, I know goddamn well. You look down at your dick like, might still have the condom on it, nut all in it and everything. I don't mean to be so graphic, but this is the kind of shit that happens. Like, and you thinking to yourself, oh, at least I use this shit. Oh. Rest in peace, Pope Francis. Rest in peace, Pope Francis. You ain't even Catholic. But fuck it. It goes the way it goes, man. Sippers and guzzlers. Sippers and guzzlers. What do you know? Hit the like button, y'all. Don't get stuck on 18. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. You out, Oakland? Thanks for coming through, my dude. Appreciate you. That's a dicky do. But yeah, guzzlers and sippers. Let me ask y'all something. Do you think that a guzzler and a sipper could be happy together in a relationship? Could a guzzling male and a sipping female, or vice versa, could a guzzling female and a sipping male, could they be okay together romantically? Could they be the love of each other's lives? Could they? Seika Sala said no. Damn. Came through with the fast no, too. Damn, man. No hope? I thought they said opposites attract, dog. Nah? Said no. Damn. Well, let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all some open-ended questions where there may not be any definitive answers. Do you know any couples? Dang, Cheryl said no also. I wonder, does anybody know if Beyonce drinks? Somehow Jay-Z looks like the type that would be a sipper, not a gulper, not a guzzler. Jay looks like he was a sipper, and I don't think he really indulges in anything. I don't think he smokes weed or drink or anything like that. Or if so, I don't think he did it a whole lot. I've known people who knew him and was around him a lot, and they never described him as a partier. But I wonder if Beyonce drinks. Would you say a couple like them, would you say that they're probably both sippers? Or do you think that Beyonce might be a guzzler? Like Beyonce works up a sweat. She might need water. She might have to guzzle. Jay-Z ain't working up no sweat. He like a sitting duck there reciting rhymes. Marissa Allberg says, I think so. It depends. Seika Sala says, I'm sure they're more prescription drugs to keep them. Oh, they more into prescription. Do you think so? Well, even with that, whatever substance that people do, they either guzzle them or they sip them. Like instead of, let's say if you was on Percocets, would you be the type that would take 2 or 3 at the same time, or would you take like half of one? You understand what I'm saying? So you could still be a sipper or a guzzler, even if you're not talking about drinking. It's the mentality that could make you a sipper or a guzzler. It's the mentality that could make or break you, that could create you or destroy you. What do you think? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think that in that relationship, taking into account, I don't know either one of them personally, never been around them, never met them. But I would say that Jay is probably a sipper and Beyonce was probably closer to a guzzler. Probably. I don't know if she drinks at all. Let me see if I can Google that. See if Beyonce drinks. Google would know. Let me see. Does Beyonce drink alcohol? Okay, yes, Beyonce has been seen drinking alcohol, including her own brand of whiskey. I didn't know she had a brand of whiskey. Did y'all know that? It's called Sir Davis. She has also been seen drinking champagne. While she enjoys whiskey, she has also stated that she drinks a gallon of water a day, suggesting that she is conscious of her hydration. See, she sounds like a guzzler. Beyonce's a guzzler. A gallon of water a day, huh? All right. All right, Beyonce. Does Jay-Z drink alcohol? Yes, Jay-Z has been seen consuming alcohol publicly, particularly cognac and champagne. He was photographed drinking cognac from a Grammy Award after accepting the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. Additionally, he has been associated with the Armand. Okay, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did have his own liquor. Ace of Spades champagne brand, investing in and eventually taking over the brand. Okay. Okay. I thought it was Armadale. All right. Okay. Jay-Z was involved in the Douce cognac brand, owning a significant stake. He recently sold a portion of his stake back to Bacardi for $750 million, but still retains ownership. $750 million. Jay is richer than I thought. God damn. Okay. So he drank it out of the Grammy Award. Okay. So he looks like he's sipping it. He looks like he's sipping it. Okay. Sega says, I'm sure that. Okay, Cheryl says, I agree with Sega. She sweats a lot. All right, let's take Whitney Houston, may she rest in peace. And Bobby Brown. Do you think they were both guzzlers? Or do you think one was a sipper and one was a guzzler? And if so, which one? Which one do y'all think was more likely to sip or guzzle? Or do you think they were both guzzlers or both sippers? What do y'all think? Now, take into account, Whitney used to sweat a lot too. And Bobby used to sweat a lot too when he could dance. That motherfucker can't dance worth shit now with his fat ass. His fat, old looking ass. Like, that shit don't make no sense. It's his prerogative to be as unhealthy as possible. It's his prerogative. He can't do what he want to do. What do y'all think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I want to know. I want to know. I want to know what y'all think. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Sika says Bobby Guzzler and Whitney was a sipper, but she had that 80s yayo. Okay, even with the coke, you think she was more of a guzzler with the coke or a sipper with the coke? A guzzler with the coke would be more like Scarface, more like Al Pacino in Scarface. Sniff the whole mountain. A sipper might be more like Superfly. More like Ron O'Neal in Superfly. Ding, ding, it. Ding, ding, it. Cheryl Halsey says both sippers. Interesting. Interesting. Sika Sala says, no, she kept her model body. So what are you saying? You saying that she was you said that she was a sipper. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Interesting. Interesting. Let's take some more celebrity couples. The ones I can think of, because I don't know, but so many. Let me see. Let's say Russell Wilson and Ciara. I don't know if y'all know anything about them. I don't know a whole lot about them. Do you think that they're both sippers, both guzzlers, or one is a sipper and one is a guzzler? Which one would it be? If you know. Now, I can't say that I speak. I can't really speak too much on this. But I would say that if Russell was a drinker, If Russell was a drinker, he looks more like a sipper to me. Sierra, even though she was a real energetic dancer and all of that, somehow she still seems like a sipper to me. If y'all know more than me, feel free. Feel free to add in your 2 cents. Cause I can't say. Okay, you said I think they are more celebrational sippers for events. That makes sense to me. I'm not gonna fight that. I'm not gonna dispute that. They don't look like neither one of them look like they overindulge. But if you think about some of the other sports celebrities, like one thing I learned at the Eagles parade, at the Super Bowl parade, you saw who was the sippers and the guzzlers. One thing is for sure. Jalen Hurts is a sipper. If he drinks at all, because he doesn't display that. But if he does drink, he is absolutely a sipper. Motherfucking Saquon Barkley is a guzzler. And he got it honest because he went to Penn State. You don't learn to sip up there. And he Penn State proud too. But that boy can drink. He drinks, and he guzzles. He taking random sips of alcohol from people who went to the parade. He didn't care whether it was white or black or whatever. I was like, oh, Saquon, oh yeah. That's why when he went to the White House, I wasn't surprised at all. I was like, yeah, he is, yeah. AJ Brown would probably be more of a sipper. And you know what's funny? To me, Devontae Smith looks like he would be more of a guzzler, even though he's skinny. But he's so hype. You know what I mean? I can just imagine. I'm probably wrong though. How about LeBron James? It looks like LeBron. It might be time for LeBron to give it up, man. It might be time. He's just not as dangerous as he used to be. But I mean, the ball 40. Well, he's above 40. It might be time for King James to hang it up. Because ain't no reason that they should be getting the paws put on them the way they getting right now. It's over. Sikasala says, you can tell a brother or sister drinks a lot is underneath his eyes, and white dudes is his or her nose being extra red. No argument with me. No argument from me, I should say. No argument from me. We got 23 votes on the poll. All right. Okay, we doing all right. Excuse me, y'all. We doing okay. 39%. It says a lot about them. Okay. So we staying consistent. Irie Beats says, really? I think he should sign a max contract with the LA Bills. Yeah, man, I think it's time. It might be time. I mean, we all have our time. He's not going to be. I know he wants another championship, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it. me see. How old is LeBron James?
LeBron James is 40 years old.
Yeah, he's 40. He just turned 40. So he'd be 41. He's the oldest player in the NBA. You know, he's just not as dangerous as he used to be. He can still play. But just like when Jordan was playing in his later years, he could still play. But, you know, after that fear that people had of you, once that subsides, it's time to go. He's only 6'9"? Why did I think he was taller than that? I'm saying only 6'9", like that's short. For some reason, I thought he was like 6'10", maybe even 6'11", but not 7 feet. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. At age 16, Michael Jordan was around 5'11". He was initially cut from the high school varsity basketball team due to his height, but he underwent a significant growth spurt, increasing his height to 6'3". After further growth, he reached final height of 6'6". How do you do that? At 16, how do you grow a whole 7 inches? How do you do that? Well, let me see something here. I don't know. Never heard no shit like that before. I really did. I never heard of that before. Sega Salad says, my bad grammar is crazy tonight. New laptop. Oh, you be on the computer? That's what's up. That's what's up. I still like desktops and laptops. It's almost like they unless you have an iMac or MacBook, I should say. Unless you have a MacBook or something, you know, people act like you can't have a PC no more. Well, I like having a PC. I think it's great. I still like a desktop though. I do. Laptop too. I got plenty of them. I got like three laptops. 3 desktops. But yeah, let me see. Let's see. Does LeBron drink? Does LeBron James drink alcohol? Yes, LeBron James has stated that he regularly drinks wine or tequila, often after basketball games, and believes it's beneficial for his heart. He has also mentioned sharing wine with his children. LeBron has publicly discussed his love for wine, stating that he drinks it pretty much every day. He has said he believes it's good for his heart, referring to perceived health benefits. Resveratrol, resveratrol, and antioxidants found in wine. He also has been known to drink tequila. Okay. So what would you say? I mean, if he drinks wine every day, you think he's a sipper or is he a guzzler? That's a big boy. That's a big boy. You think he's a sipper or a guzzler? Oh, Sega Salah says LeBron drinks wine for sure. Wisdom. What up, Wisdom? Says, good morning, son, family. I have a laptop which works like a desktop. The key difference is RAM. It has 64 gigabit RAM. Shit. 60. That shit fast as hell. 64 gig RAM? RAM? Shit, some people don't even have that on their hard drive. You said cost 4K. Yeah, I guess it oughta. Sheesh. 64 gig RAM. Like all of my devices have 16. You know, anything over 16, you talking about gaming. So is that why? You got a gaming laptop or a gaming desktop? Because what I can't imagine why anybody besides a gamer would need that speed of RAM. That is definitely, I mean, at that speed, you should be beating everybody. Sega Salah says 64, you CIA. Shit, like I never heard of it that high. The highest I've ever heard was 32. The highest I've ever heard of RAM speed was 32. And that was a hell of a gaming laptop. What's the Alienware? Alienware, it has 32. As a matter of fact, I think somebody modified it and got it up to 32. Shit, you gonna make me look this shit up. Let me see. 32 gig RAM laptop. It can be, oh shit. I said 32, I should have said 64. They got a Lenovo here, 32. Only $369.99. What the idea? Well, God, I said, well, God damn. Let me see. 64 gig RAM laptop. You should say still not as high as. All right. Evidently, these 64 gig laptops are very plentiful, and the highest one I see is 1700, and that's a Dell Precision 7740 i7 processor, 64 gig RAM SSD, 17.3 screen. It made me want to get one of these shits. 64 gig. Oh, this the Alienware. Oh, you said yes, it's a gaming laptop. The Asus. Okay. Oh, was it Asus? How do you pronounce that shit? I've always wondered. Now this Alienware Area 51. Damn, they called the shit Area 51 gaming laptops. Windows 11, $3,498. Damn, man. If I spend that much on a laptop, I'm guzzling. I'm guzzling. Fast ass laptop, son. Fast ass laptop. You know those games. You know those computer gamers. You can't tell them shit. They are the I don't want to say snooty, but they are like the The bougie. They are the bougie gamers. They be like, no, I don't play on a PlayStation or Xbox. It's a computer for real gamers. For real gamers. Okay, that's what's up. Selena! Salina! What up? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Without a doubt. So we're talking about sippers and guzzlers tonight. Sippers and guzzlers. Sippers and guzzlers. Does it cross over into other areas of your life? Does it? Does it? Let me see. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I'm under the impression that it does. I think we've said enough about certain things to pretty much indicate that, yeah. I think that the way a person eats or drinks probably has an effect on how they are. You know, earlier in the show we were talking about how, like, if you grew up in a big family where maybe you had everything was on a first come, first served basis, you probably had to get in there real quick and eat, drink. Not to try to eliminate your brothers and sisters from getting anything, but look, it's every man for themselves. What up, Wes? What up, Wes? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. And if y'all have been listening in the background for a minute, please identify yourself as either a sipper or a guzzler. Do you consider yourself to be a sipper or a guzzler? I'm a guzzler. My man Seika Sala, he's a guzzler. Cheryl Halsey is a sipper. I think my man Oakland never said what he was. He keep his cards close to his vest. He keep the cards close to his vest. We ain't gonna know who he is. Maritza Allberg. What did Maritza say she was? Let me see. Let me go back up here. I don't think she said. Yeah, she didn't say. Carl Childers, balls to the walls in everything I do. So I'm going to assume that you mean that you are a guzzler. Balls to the walls in everything I do. I ain't mad at it. They say all things in moderation. Well, sometimes you got to get to the bag a little bit faster. Joe Webster, what's good? So was Bone Scott? What does that mean? Marissa says, I'm both. So you sip sometimes and you guzzle sometimes. So does that depend on the taste or does it depend on the substance? Like, are you like maybe, like if it's water or juice, maybe you guzzle, but if it's alcohol, you sip. Like, yo, I ain't trying to be out here, you know what I mean? Butt naked and ashy. You said just now you said it. Okay, cool. Joseph Webster says AC/DC singer died in the driveway drinking a bottle of liquor. Yeah, yeah. I mean, remember John Bonham, the drummer, the spectacular drummer of Led Zeppelin? He drank himself to death. A lot of musicians and entertainers or whatever have drank themselves to death. I was looking at a documentary, Led Zeppelin, and Robert Plant was saying how after John had died, like everything was different. Everything was different. You know? Everything was different. Everything is different. Not saying that he was through with the group, but you know how it is. You know how you can be really, really invested in something and you lose. It'd be just like going in the army, and all the guys you trained with, went through basic training with, the guys that you fought with, and then some of them die, and it's like, I gotta get home, man. This thing ain't it. This ain't it. I was just drinking with my brother, having fun with my brother, laughing, talking about what we was gonna do when we got home. And now he's gone. He went home. He went to the wrong home. He got called home. Okay, Marissa says, exactly, depends on the substance. Okay, cool. Wes says, I was an alcoholic off and on all my life. I'm 6 years sober. That's not a small accomplishment. It's not. That is not a small accomplishment. It's not a small thing. It's actually something to be very, very proud of, and it's something that you can build on. There is nothing, when you talk about being an alcoholic or you talk about being a drug addict, you're talking about being, it's like being in jail. It's like being in bondage, because everything that you do has to be associated with that thing. You can't get through a day without that thing. It's like having your irritating little brother having to go everywhere you go. And you don't want him to go, but he has to. So once you free yourself, now I really understand why they say, getting the monkey off your back. Because once you free yourself, you realize what a better world it is than it looked like when you were under the influence. And you might have really thought that you was just partying and having a good time. So shout out to you. Congratulations. And I'm proud of you. Very, very proud of you. I wouldn't label myself to have been an alcoholic, but what difference does it make? I had 3 DUIs. So the state looks at it a lot differently than I did. But I didn't drink every day. I only drank on the weekends. So each DUI I got was on the weekends. Was that better? No, not at all. Joe says, yeah, I've had friends die from all sorts of things. I like living. I quit over a year ago. Congratulations on 6 years. You've been done for a year? Get one for you too. One for Joe. One for Wes. Wes, Joe, Wes, Joe, Wes, Joe, Wes, Joe, Wes, Joe, Wes. Good shit. Good shit. Sobriety rules. And it really does. Like I said, man, it's like, you know, you're able to get a better perspective on the world than you would have had before when you were under the influence. And the funny thing is, when you're under the influence, you really think that you're maintaining, that you're doing okay, that you're holding on pretty well. And it's not until you let it go, and I mean really let it go. You know, when you're still in the struggle to stop using or stop drinking or whatever, you're not free, because you still have the desire, and you know that in the right situation you could go right back. But when you are really done, when the feeling doesn't hit you anymore, when you don't have to struggle not to do it anymore, you realize that you're finally free. That you're finally free. And there's nothing like finding freedom. And you're never really free until you find it. And it's out there. And it's out there. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I said, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. I'd appreciate that. I would. Yes, I would. Thank you. Hold on. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Things are different, man. Things are so different now. Fuck it, we're gonna roll with it. We're going to roll with it. Everything is gonna be okay. One way or another. One way or another. I'm gonna find ya. I'm gonna get you one way or another. All right. So as we proceed, yes. Sippers and guzzlers. Sippers and guzzlers. For those of y'all who weren't here earlier, we were talking about how, you know, you may associate sipping and guzzling in other areas of your life. So we were talking about do we have sippers and guzzlers in driving, sippers and guzzlers? Do you think, like, maybe in business, how energetic, how spirited are you when it comes to hustling or working or, you know, gathering or building wealth? Do you think sippers or guzzlers do better in that category? And, you know, when you really think about it, you might think that material wealth or the pursuit of material wealth or material items, you know how important that is to some people. You know how important that is to some people. So you know what it's hitting for. So when you think about how a sipper would approach business and how a guzzler might approach business, you may think that a guzzler may really be trying to get to the bag as fast as possible and to do as well and get as much money as possible. Does it really work that way? Or is it possible that they could just be spending a lot of energy and not really making no money? Whereas a sipper might calculate every move, make only the right moves. You know, one thing about a sipper and a guzzler that they have in common, both of them are going to get drunk. Both of them are going to reach their goals. One is just going to try to do it faster than the other one does. But they can move fast, get to the finish line fast, but burn out. The other one may get to the finish line slow, but they're going to finish. So you're talking about the difference between a sprint and a marathon. And you look at the way that sprinters are built and the way that marathon runners are built. Major differences in body shape, muscle composition, all that type of stuff. All that type of stuff. All right. It's interesting. It's interesting. I tell you what, I got, in business. Which one do you think would be more successful? A sipper or a guzzler? A sipper or a guzzler? In business. Like, how do you sip business? How do you guzzle business? How you do it? But I think y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all understand the metaphor. Y'all know what we're talking about over here. Y'all know what we're talking about over here. I tell you, boy, they done really changed the algorithm around Chun. They said you gonna fight for everything you get. Everything. But we'll see. We'll see. Yes, we will. Let me see here. Oh, y'all not talking? That's okay. We'll see about this. We shall see about all of it. All of it. Interesting. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think in business, I can see a sipper being a little bit more calculating, contemplative, patient, and probably more success oriented. But that could just be me. That could absolutely just be me. Wow, Simon says Kevin Gates versus LeBron James. What a comparison. What a comparison. Kevin Gates versus LeBron James. Well, I'm picking LeBron James because I don't like Kevin Gates. So whatever the category is, I'm going with King James. I'm going with King James. That's what I'm doing. In love, what do y'all think? In pursuit of romantic bliss, a sipper or a guzzler? Now, I asked the question earlier, and for those of y'all who just got here, I'm interested to know what y'all think. Can a sipper and a guzzler make it together? If like the woman is a guzzler and the man is a sipper, can they make it? Or if the man is a guzzler and the woman is a sipper. Now remember, whether you guzzle or sipple, I said guzzle or sipple.
You have a call from.
Go get a late pass. Step.
What's up, fool?
What up, my dude? How you feeling?
Listen, boy, I've been guzzling lately, bro.
You been guzzling?
Yeah,
Are you a guzzler?
I'm a guzzler, boy. I can't, unless I'm drinking some Irish some Irish coffee, I'm a guzzler, bro. I mean, I'm a drinker. At a bar, I'm a drinker. You know what I mean? But when I'm home, I just want to hit, get some drinks in, lay down and relax, listen to a little Isley Brothers talk about hello.
Okay. Now I'm thinking like when we used to hang out. I think I considered you to be more of a sipper then.
Well, yeah. Well, with the
Alcohol.
other drinks, yeah. But when I'm taking shots, can't take no shot. You can't sip no shot.
You sure can't.
You can't sip no shot. You know if you sipping shots, you're a beast.
Yeah, I'm not even. You sipping a shot, I'm not even fucking with you. Like,
Yeah,
it's called a
you're
shot.
a whole different level of.
It's called a shot.
Bouginess.
Yeah.
You walk around talking about partake. Would you like to partake in a cordial?
Okay.
Yeah, but I was with the shots. Yeah, but if I'm walking in a bar and I got like a mixed drink or some port wine and some pineapple juice or something.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna just slow walk that.
Okay.
That's my chaser.
All right. So with alcohol, you more of a sipper, but
with shots.
okay. But yeah,
I'm a sipper. But with a regular drink, a mixed drink, yeah, I'm a sipper.
Okay. Okay.
Unless I'm going through some shit and I just want to get myself there.
Okay.
Then I'm guzzling everything. Boop, boop, boop.
All right. So like regular non-alcoholic drinks like juice or water or whatever, are you a sipper or a guzzler?
I'm a guzzler.
Yeah, I'm definitely a guzzler.
Yeah, ain't nobody sipping no water or sipping no juice. You know what I mean, I was parched. No, we can't do that, man. We too grown for that shit. We men.
Did you ever grow up around any sippers?
Well, I was just when I woke up and I was listening to some of what you were saying. It took me back with my mom. With my mom, she used to drink Kanai.
Kanai wine.
Remember Kanai wine?
Yeah, hell yeah, I remember that shit.
Kanai wine, or she had a bottle of peach schnapps and some pineapple juice. And that was my first introduction. The peach schnapps and the pineapple juice was my first introduction to alcohol.
Well, that's a good introduction. That'll give you the lie of alcohol, because you be thinking that all alcohol tastes good, and it don't.
Yeah. So, and then it taking out to my mom. My mom didn't smoke, but when she drank, she needed a cigarette.
Really?
Yeah. When
Okay.
she drank, I was just sitting up here like that's something that triggered in my mind. I'm like, damn, I remember my mom used to drink, and she needed a cigarette. You know what I mean? And my mom, I forgot my mom was an inventor or something too. My mom was the inventor of cropping pictures.
Really?
Yeah, because when her and her man broke up, she used to cut the pictures.
Wow. Okay.
She used to cut him out the picture.
Cropping right about. We don't need him here.
No, him don't live here anymore.
Was she good with the scissors?
Great with the scissors, boy. She ain't even know. She knew some karate and some crazy.
So karate and crazy.
I'm telling you, boy. That woman invented cropping. Like, damn, what happened to Mr. James? Oh, he wasn't in that picture. When you took that picture, he wasn't in that picture, man, was he? Nah, he wasn't in there.
She was deleting people before they came out with that.
She didn't even know nothing. She didn't even know how important that was, man.
That's crazy as hell.
She didn't know how fucking important that was. Just cropping people out of pictures.
Gotta go. They don't need. He's not needed here. He's left the moment.
And in business, I was saying your business analogy. I think that if you're in business, you can't guzzle. You can guzzle, if you're trying to explore your thoughts. Because I remember the movie, The Show, with the rap movie, The Show.
Hell yeah.
And they was like, I just sit back and, I get myself some weed and I just my mind just go to just take me places. And as soon as everybody heard that, they start wanting to smoke weed so they can write better, write their rhymes better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you try, I think I always put that, I can put that in the category of alcohol too. If you're trying to explore your thoughts a little bit different and you want to get there, you might guzzle. But if you really just trying to slow walk and you just need a drink to casually come together and be like, and be mellow, and not go to sleep quick or not be so, then I think a sipping is good for a businessman. You know what I mean? And even when you sipping, like if you're getting something on the rocks, that's a good way to sip. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to some type of restaurant where it's more of an upbeat, more professional type restaurant, I'm not gonna be guzzling drinks down like that. I'm gonna be more professional. But when you go into your neighborhood watering hole, no, you be you. You know what I mean? You gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You gotta know when to be grown and know when to just be you. You know what I mean?
Okay. In a relationship, do you think a sipper and a guzzler can be together?
Yeah, I think a sipper and a guzzler can be together, but I also think I would love my woman to be a guzzler.
Okay.
Because when she comes to fuck home,
okay.
We three words, sweet and home.
Okay.
When a woman's a guzzler.
So you think guzzlers are probably more energetic in bed than sippers?
I think guzzlers are freaks. When you wake up the next morning, you say to yourself, "Did the fuck I do that? I've never done that before.
Huh?
What pulled that out of me?" And then you go in the bedroom, you see some Jane and says, "Oh shit, that's why I did that. I gotta get me another bottle of that tomorrow."
You know what? I think sippers probably are more freaky than guzzlers.
No, bro. You got. I want you. Now, if you're a guzzler and you get drunk quick, it's not fun. But if you're a guzzler and you just get there and then you just slow walk the rest of your drinks and make sure that all your other drinks should be chased. Be chaser-like drinks. You get two. Like me, I don't get one shot. It's all double shots. And it's always Tanqueray. Give me double shot of Tanqueray. One time I was going through something and I was going through so much, I was going through some deep depression. I went to the bar, I told him, give me 4 shots of double. Give me 4 double shots of Tanqueray.
Tanqueray actually tastes okay. With nothing. You know what I mean? I used to be able to drink gin. I wasn't a real big, straight liquor drinker. I ain't really like to do that. But what I was saying is, I think sippers, as far as females are concerned, I think that they could probably be a little bit more freaky because the guzzlers, you kind of already know what you're getting. Like, guzzlers can be like old granddad, put hair on your chest. But sippers can be like grain alcohol. You gonna be drunk for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, I told you to slow it down. Like, it's gonna sneak up on you.
I was I was going to a 22nd Street Cafe down here in South Philly, right? Because you know Lionel Simmons on that L train.
Mm.
So I was up in there and I was drinking. They had these drinks called Brooklyns, right? And I mean, I was guzzling these. These was mixed drink. It had like maybe 3 or 4 vodkas. I mean, the shit that was. I was guzzling these things down like fucking Arizona's, man.
Yeah.
I guzzled down like 4 or 5 of them. This was the deep in the comedy game. Deep in the comedy game days. So when I got that alcohol in me, man, one time I had about maybe 41s in my pocket. I got drunk off them Brooklyns. The DJ played God Money and You Money. Take it out your pocket and throw it in. I threw them 41s in the air. You just knew I was the shit. But here's the kicker. Son, your brother got so fucked up off them Brooklyns. I was doing all the dances to Beyonce Get My Body. Pat your weed, baby. Pat your weed, baby. The girls were like, damn, he's kicking that shit better than us.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you was listening to the part with, speaking of Beyonce, I don't know if you was listening to the part where we was talking about certain celebrity couples and whether they might be sippers and drinkers. I said that I think Beyonce looks like more of a guzzler and Jay seems like more of a sipper. And I was basing that on the fact that Beyonce has a lot of energy, you know. So when it comes to water, she said that she drinks like a gallon of water. She drinks alcohol, but she says she drinks like a gallon of water a day. And you know, if you ever seen a Beyonce show, you know it's a lot of energy. You know what I mean? She getting it in. Jay ain't gonna sweat at all. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't putting that energy in the show. He just walking around, slow walking.
Mm-hmm. But he does drink. But he doesn't strike me as the type that overindulges. Even though, you know, with that crazy looking haircut, he got, you know what I mean? Like something done happened. Something done snapped in that motherfucker. But I don't know if it was alcohol.
Yeah. I don't think you can blame it on that.
Yeah. So,
you know what I mean?
So would you agree that Beyonce is more of a guzzler and he's a sipper, or do you see it differently?
Well, I think that she's a guzzler, but she turns into a sipper depending on the environment she's in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I'm thinking that, like, on the Grammys, you don't want to be no guzzler.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but it's just certain places where, it's like I said, you have a professional you and just a regular you. You know when to turn it down and turn it up. It's just like the volume. You know, when you out and about, you would, like when me and son now, oh yeah, I'm turning the volume up. It's time to turn this volume up. You know what I mean? We gonna be telling jokes. We gonna be funny as shit. The attention is coming. I mean, we already gonna be fresh to death. I mean, what the fuck else? We fresh to death. We going out. We bling blinging. You know what I mean? We gonna be fly. I'm gonna have my little Gerald Levert shit going on. You gonna have your LL going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We gonna be telling some jokes. We gonna be laughing. The alcohol gonna be here. Women gonna come to. We ain't even want to speak. They gonna look at us. So let me come over there. What's going on? Y'all drinking? Yeah, get these chicks in a drink. I know you look like a guzzler. And they're gonna fun right there. Want a double shot? You gotta guzzle it. That's gonna be my new pickup line.
Yeah.
If you sipping with me, bitch, we can't. You call me a bitch? Yes, I did. Cause you look like when you get fucked up, you get on all fours. Oh yeah, see, the alcohol make you talk some shit. The alcohol will make you, and you know it do. The alcohol will make you talk some shit.
Well, I got an interesting little concept. Now, you look at Puffy. In the beginning of it, no, real shit. Maybe 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I would have looked at Puffy like he was more of a sipper. Nowadays, I think he's probably more of a guzzler. Now, you look at somebody like Shannon Sharp, definitely a sipper. You can tell by by how he drinks on his podcast.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely demure.
But look how things are going with both of them.
Yeah. I think we can look at Puffy.
Them sippers can be dangerous. But them guzzlers, we know the dangers. We understand the dangers of the guzzler. Mm-hmm. We already know about the danger of the overindulgence. The sippers, though, because sippers have more patience. They're normally more calculating. Now, of course, this is just my point of view because somebody else might see it totally different. But
like normal, like if you at a party, some people be guzzling. Like I see people guzzling at a Diddy party. Alcohol is running free, but he's sipping because he got to keep an eye on certain situations. He's trying to, like you said, he can be more observant of things and start planning shit.
Well, I'm thinking that the guzzler or sipper mentality is not reserved for just food and drink.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a way. It kind of ties into the way your brain works, the way your thought patterns go. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I could be wrong, but that's the point of view that I was looking at it. So, yeah. So, let me see. Who else? I don't want to go to the deceased. So we're gonna keep it lit. We did LeBron James.
I know one thing. When my grandfather, God rest his soul, I know he passed away from cirrhosis of the liver. I never knew nothing about it until, that happened to him when I was 14. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't an angry drunk. I guess to me he wasn't, because whatever he did from around me, I never, people can tell stories. His kids, like my aunt, can tell me stories about my grandfather after all the years he's been passed away. God rest her soul too. And when she was telling me stories about him, I'm like, why are you talking about my grandfather like that? Mm-hmm. That's not the stuff. I've never seen him like that. And I've never heard things about him like that. So, and he's not here to defend himself. So you can't do that. Don't try to, because of what you've been through with him. Don't put a dark cloud over what I've never been through with him at all. Yes, he whooped my ass. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I knew the love that he had for me. You know what I'm saying? But when he started drinking, he started telling jokes, and he went fishing one time, and his drink was rum and coke. So we got in the truck after coming up DC fishing. I just won a $99 fishing pool off a big flounder. So I'm geek and everything. So I turned back around. He said, "Yeah, Troy, let me tell you this joke. He said, "Well," and I think years and years down the line, I think I heard it. I think it was a Red Fox joke. Because I think that's where he got it from. Okay. But he's like, Tarzan was running through the jungle one time, right, Troy? And he was running, and the poachers was chasing him and Jane, and Tarzan climbed up the tree. And when he got up the tree, he told Jane, he said, "Jane, grab my vine, because he was saying, this is how Tarzan started saying, "Ah." He said, "Grab my vine, here go my vine, Jane." So she accidentally grabbed his penis. So he said, it's hard to start saying, "Ah," and that was my first initiation of comedy and dirty jokes. Granddad, God rest his soul. Thank you for that one.
Yeah, well, my dad used to listen to a lot of Richard Pryor albums.
Oh yeah. I know you caught him.
So there's that.
Yeah, you know. I mean, I've seen Richard Pryor comedy hour, and I've seen all that stuff. But you know, when you hear your grandfather tell a joke, and you're not normally, you know, he and you're not used to hearing him tell jokes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I mean, you know, he's always been serious and stuff like that, or you know, he showed love, he smiled, we laughed and giggled at times, but when he's always been very, very stern. So when he tells you a joke and it's coming from off the alcohol, you want to keep that alcohol pouring. You want another shot, Granddad? I can make it for you myself.
Yeah.
I got you, Granddad. You know what I mean? So yeah, so you always enjoy the moments. Alcohol can bring, you know, alcohol is a gift and a curse, especially if a person can't handle the alcohol. If you allow yourself to ram from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you don't want to, all things in moderation. That's all I can say.
You know, only time I had one, I didn't have a ramming episode. I had them Brooklyn's. Them Brooklyn's caught up to me one night. I went to the cafe and then I went to this after hour called 121. I went up in there and I went from Troy to Sir Earl. Sir Richard of Earl.
Yeah. I've been there. I've seen him. I've seen plenty. Yeah. I've seen plenty of his performances.
Yes, me and the trash can had a love-hate relationship. I hated it, and they hated me.
Yeah, I hear you.
I had to call the wife to pick me up. I got home.
Troy's 4:00.
Okay, well I'm gonna say this. Got home, fell off the toilet. Didn't even have to go to the bathroom. Woke up on the floor. She said, "I ain't picking your big ass up."
Yo, that's the
story of Simple and Guzzlers.
That's the big man dilemma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got
love you, bro.
Yo, man, I love you too. You already know.
You thought you was going to get rid of me? I say not.
That's what's up.
I would have called you with 5 minutes left.
Hey, I know you'll do it. You know what I mean? I know you'll do it. All right, man. Have a good night, though.
All right, man. Anytime, bro.
All right, man. Peace.
All right.
Good stuff, my man Troy Diesel. All right, y'all. Let's do these birthday shout-outs. We have some birthday shout-outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious April 29th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. All right. Glenny Cabrera, and also Tanya Lee, and my man Jeffrey Hackett, and last but not least, Albert Geiger. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all, and I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit, and that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious April 29th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on into the damn, to rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, hey yo, sippers and guzzlers, all things in moderation, man. If you can't practice doing better, then you can't practice living longer or living better. You know, this is bigger than just I'm talking about alcohol or substance abuse or anything like that, or overeating and all that. We're talking about a whole way of thinking, a whole lifestyle, a whole way of being who you are. And you want to always monitor yourself and be self-aware. Understand that the way that you see yourself may not exactly be the way that somebody else sees you. And we have to respect that. Even if we don't want to, we still have to respect it if we want others to respect us. For us to have a inflated view of ourselves or delusions of grandeur when everybody else can see more of a state of reality, that's not going to get us where we need to be. That ain't going to do what we needed to do. I want to thank all y'all for coming through. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. See the result. Let's see the final results of this poll. Out of 30 votes, do you think that the way that a person eats or drinks can tell that the way that they live their lives? 40% said yes. It says a lot about them. 27% says no, that's ridiculous. And 30% says maybe so, maybe not. And 3% said when they're greedy with food, then they're greedy in other places. Greedy with the food, greedy in the other places. Yeah, I want to thank all y'all for coming through, man. I hope y'all enjoy listening to this show as much as I enjoy broadcasting it. We will be back tomorrow night, 2 a.m. Y'all know how we do. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, and don't hesitate. You know? I'll holla. Peace, y'all. Good night. Okay.